The sprites are honestly some of the best mechanics Fortnite has introduced in years. They keep me playing the game for hours on end and honestly just make me never want to turn the console off. But why, you may be asking? Well, we'll be talking about that in today's video. But before we get to anything special, hi, my name is KDG, an up-and-coming Fortnite and Storytime YouTuber. You may know me from my original channel, King Loves Cookies, but if you don't mind, please consider subscribing. It's free and helps me more than you can ever imagine. And if you think about it, it lets me know that y'all like this channel a lot and that I should post on here more instead of my other channels. So for some context, sprites are small companion-like spirits that float alongside your character's back, similar to a back bling. They grant passive abilities during matches, giving you gameplay advantages like siphoning health on eliminations, finding your loot, or replenishing shields. But this isn't the first time we've seen sprites. You see, back in Chapter 6, Season 1, aka Hunters, sprites were introduced with the same aesthetic as current sprites, except for one major difference. Their abilities were non-upgradable, limited to a certain number of uses, were not passive, and most of all, not wearable. I guess it's a bit more than one major difference. But my point still stands. There was no reason to collect them because you couldn't take them into your next matches, and they didn't do much besides being used once, twice, maybe even 3 times. So Fortnite did what they did best. They took a concept and made it even better. 1 chapter and 2 seasons later, here we are in Chapter 7, Season 3. And Fortnite improved them so much to the point where it's the whole reason I'm playing this season, bar. So instead of just being randomly findable on the ground, you can actually equip sprites before the game. Now once you've equipped them, you'll go into the game and you'll reap the passive benefits. Once you've gotten enough eliminations, open enough containers, you can actually level up your sprites. Now each level improves their passive ability. Like for the water sprite, the shield you gain ramps up every single level. Once you've gotten them to max level, they are mastered. Now of course you'll want to use them because they have way more benefits, but you also have the option of extracting them. You'll be able to keep that level and bring it into the next game with that same level. Once you've extracted a mastered sprite though, they will give you certain benefits for the more sprites you've mastered. This just gives you all the more reason to actually interact with the season mechanic. Now while their specific abilities haven't made much of an impact, they have still made a big enough impact to split the community into 2 types of players. The collectors who just want to collect sprites just so they can see them in their collection and maybe sell them on eBay. Yeah, crazy. And then the skill players who want to actually use the abilities of the sprites to win games. Now, does it help them too much? Not really, but there are certain sprites that can actually help you a lot. The 0-point sprite, if you're healing in endgame and need protection, you can use the 0-point sprite. The demon sprite allows you to gain some siphons, so if you're going out there shotgunning everybody, you can actually get a ton of survival with that siphon. And this poses a big question I want you to answer in the comments. Which type of player are you? The skill player who just wants to use the sprites for pure skill, or the collector who has a ton of sprites in their account and probably has like 20 mastered already. By the way, if y'all want a good spot to land to level up your sprites to mastery in just a couple games, maybe even 1 game, hit me up in the comments and I will tell you a spot in the next video. But with that being said, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.